Yo, what up, my guys? It's the boy Rich. We're back with another Wi-Fi battle for the channel. This time against the homie PreeM off Discord. This was, I feel like, a pretty good battle. Me and PreeM used to battle a lot more over the summer, but not much as of late. I haven't got any recent battles. This battle was like in June or something, and it was good. So I still wanted to go ahead and get it uploaded. But this dude always gives me a challenge. Looking at the team preview, you guys can see it's a PU battle, of course, because I love PU battles. But the first thing I noticed off his team is that he just has a lot of scary things. Like Jinx is always gonna forever be scary to me with the Z lovely kiss, with the nasty plot, the Musharna if it can set up some calm minds. I'm assuming that the Crocodile does like the same thing as a Feraligatr does, which is a scary Pokemon. Just threats everywhere on his team. I have kind of like a little bit of a wacky team. I still got my Bellossom on the team. I told you guys I was going to give her a break, but honestly, these battles are kind of old. I'm not using the Bellossom right now in my current PU battles or any of my tier battles, but I'm giving that girl a break. Everything else on my team is just kind of there for its own reason, just like most of my battles. Like I am going to start doing like kind of theme teams or something like that. Like not theme teams, but like I don't know, like maybe like a rain dance team. I want to try a trick room team. I've never actually tried trick room, but I want to go ahead and get into having some actual chemistry or balance within my teams. But anyway, let's go ahead and hop into the battle. So of course my opponent has the Levani on his team, which when you see those things, they're pretty good Pokemon to start out with, to be honest, because they can run like the Focus Sash, get some webs up. They're pretty fast. Then if I was to start out with like a Pokemon that had like Stealth Rocks or something, a really common thing that you do see on it is that it has like the Magic Coat. So it's just a really good Pokemon to start out with. No lie. So my opponent is just going to go ahead and use this first turn to get these sticky webs up. I decided to start out with my Hitmonchan just because I knew this thing was going to be starting, and I was like, I really don't want to have to deal with any sticky webs. So my opponent got the webs up. I went for an Ice Punch just straight up first turn to try to knock him out, and he did not die. So I am just going to go ahead and Rapid Spin up to get rid of these webs, and I feel very safe. I do have the Mach Punch, even though it's not going to be very effective. I did want to just go ahead and get this thing knocked out, because once that thing gets knocked out and I don't have to worry about any sticky webs, that just will make me feel a lot more comfortable in the battle. But honestly, my opponent did want to just go ahead and preserve his Levani, because he has this freaking Musharna on his team, and I'm just going to go ahead and hard swap right into my Zangoose, my hit, because I know this thing's just going to go ahead and go for the Calm Mind, so he can just get that nice little Musharna sweep. Because most of the time when you see these things, I believe they're like really defensive. They get the Calm Minds up, run weakness policy, got lots of HP, then they just store power your entire lineup, and there's just nothing you can do about it unless you have a dark type. But even then, most of the time they have like the Dazzling Gleam or something. It can be really annoying to deal with if you don't catch it really quick. But that's why I hard swapped into my Zangoose, got that Toxic Orb, and trying to hit this thing with a really strong Facade, which, let me tell you guys, this is an actual adamant Zangoose. So the fact that I just hit this thing with a Facade, with the Toxic Orb boost, whatever, from his ability, like the fact that that thing still survived is just absolutely nuts. Like that Pokemon is just way too strong. But he sends in his Electivire after this, and I was thinking that maybe that I wasn't sure what item this was running, but I always felt like my guy was going to be faster than him, but I guess it wasn't the case. And he was able to go ahead and come in here and hit me with a Volt Switch. So that led me to believe that he was Choice Scarfed because he was faster than my Zangoose. So I was just going to go ahead and keep that knowledge in my head. But since my opponent did Volt Switch, he sends out his Kecleon over here, and I get the momentum of choosing what I want to counteract what he just chose out. So I decided to go ahead and choose in my Bellossom, because this is just my defensive wall, and I'm not worried too much about what this thing is doing. So he decides to hit me with a knockoff, as I just decided to go ahead and go for a Moonblast to try to scout out exactly what my opponent was going to try to do. I just felt like it was the best play at the time. And now my opponent is just going to go ahead and go for a Shadow Sneak, as I'm going to go ahead and go for the Strength Sap. And I know after I use this move, it's just really going to discourage him from staying in here. Luckily for me, he's not power up punching me with his freaking Kecleon, because that can be really annoying. And Kecleons can get really strong. Also, that thing is very special defensive. That Moonblast that I hit him with was a super effective hit, and it did like nothing. So I'm thinking right here my opponent expected me to go for another Strength Sap, but it's not the case. I did want to just keep launching out these Moonblasts in case the Levani tried to try to come in and get webs back up. But yeah, I was able to go ahead and knock that thing out. And like I said, I do feel a lot more comfortable because I did not want to have to play under webs. But now this is also where, you know, one of the bigger problems comes, because now his Jinx is in here, and I know the Z Lovely Kiss is coming, and I don't want to swap out into anything else to go to sleep. So he is just going to go ahead and, you know, do that. Z Lovely Kiss, my Bellossom is about to go to sleep. If you guys don't know what the Z Lovely Kiss does, while it puts your opponent's Pokemon to sleep, it also raises your speed by 2 stages. So this Jinx is just in here fast as hell, and just a big problem. So I know the Nasty Plot is most likely about to follow up that Lovely Kiss. So I am going to go ahead and swap out into my Grandpa, my Relicanth, which I really do love this Pokemon, by the way. I wanted to go ahead and use one. This is actually like a rock polish type Relicanth, but since this thing is just fast as crap anyway, and even if I went for the rock polish, I would not be faster than him. I figured I'd just go ahead and go for the attack right here. So I was just going to go ahead and hit this thing up with the head smash. Luckily, because of the sleep clause, he's not able to put me back to sleep, and I believe like a sidekick, a ice beam like he just did. Like I have sturdy anyway, so he wasn't going to be able to knock me out in one hit. So I was able to play off that pretty good and get rid of that Jinx, who was definitely a really big threat. But now this Crocodile is in here, and my opponent is just like setting up with every single Pokemon that comes out here, and I just got to keep trying my best to play around everything. So I do have the flying Z move on my Relicanth, typically for like grass type Pokemon, but in this case it just, I don't know, it felt like it was a strong attack that I could hit this Crocodile with, even though I know it's like Eviolite and I know it's not gonna do too much damage to this Pokemon. I still just wanted to go ahead and go for it anyway, just for the sake of even just showing it, by the way, just because I feel like it's really wacky, and it kind of makes me laugh every time I see my freaking Relicanth flying in the air like that. Which I gotta say, that should be a freaking Oko. Like, imagine a freaking heavy Relicanth just falling from the sky onto your Pokemon's head. Like, come on now. But I am just going to go ahead and send in my Mesprit, as this Pokemon's going to go for the Crunch. I expected him to go for the Crunch. I had the little Dark Berry, so it's only going to do half damage, but it looks like I would have been able to survive anyway, and I'm just going to try to hit this thing up with the Side Shock. I was really hoping that this would be enough to kill this Crocodile, but of course not. With that Eviolite, he's just out here bulky, and you know, he's got that Dragon Dance up, and I'm not going to be able to survive another Crunch from this thing. So my Mesprit is just going to have to go down right here, but luckily for me, I do have some priority in the back of my team, being Mach Punch on my Hitmonchan, and that looks like he's at enough damage to where that might be able to go ahead and kill him. So my opponent is going to actually try to preserve him. Not too sure why, and I'm not too sure why he went into Kecleon, because this is definitely a super effective hit, and I know that Kecleons aren't really, you know, the most defensive mons as when it comes to physical defense, but he swapped out into this thing, and I want to just preserve my guy in the back just in case that my opponent has anything to where he's able to like set up or something. Like, I don't know, a Mach Punch might just still come in handy for this battle, but my opponent just went for the Shadow Sneak right here, as I was just going into my Bellossom, because like I said, I'm defensive, and I was like, hopefully you know, while this Kecleon's in here trying to do his Kecleon stuff, I will be able to wake up. And as you guys can see, I wake up first turn, I'm able to go ahead and get a Quiver Dance, and that low-key kind of solidifies the battle. I was thinking this Electivire was going to come in here, and I wasn't too sure what he was going to do. He actually ends up hitting me with Ice Punch. I definitely thought this was a special attacking Electivire from the Volt Switch that he hit me with earlier in the battle, but you know, seeing the Ice Punch, I guess he's just like a mixed attacker, which is pretty dope, I gotta say. But I'm just gonna go ahead and get a Quiver Dance right up, as my opponent's gonna go for a second Ice Punch, and I was really hoping I'd be able to survive that, and I was on 13 HP, and I'm able to go ahead and get a Strength Sap, and this kind of really just solidifies the dub for me, I feel like, at this point, unless he was able to like put me to, you know, unless he was able to like freeze my Bellossom with an Ice Punch. But that's not too likely, and he is just going to go ahead and hit me up with another Ice Punches. I'm just going to go ahead and go for some damage now, hit him up with a Giga Drain. That does some really, really good damage, and I am able to get back to full from that Giga Drain, or at least, you know, 5 points from full, and he's just going to go ahead and go for another Ice Punch. But luckily for me, I don't get frozen, and I am able to just fire back with another Giga Drain. And my opponent's last two Pokemon, I believe, are the Crocodile and the Kecleon, and neither one of those Pokemon really have like any HP. I don't even think either one of those Pokemon are faster than my Bellossom after one quiver dance. So I felt really comfortable about the end of this battle. My opponent's just going to go ahead and hit the sucker punch right here, you know, get some priority, get all these last minute hits on my Bellossom, but it's just not going to be enough. I'm going to hit this Randy up with the Giga Drain and you know, take all 2 HP that he had left on his Kecleon, and my opponent's last Pokemon is going to be the Crocodile. So if he was able to go ahead and get a last hit in, it would most likely be an Ice Punch, and that's just not going to be enough to knock out my Bellossom. So I am just going to hit him with the Giga Drain and end this battle with a nice clean 3-0 victory. I still had the Cricketune, and I still had, I believe, my Hitmonchan in the back, but I did want to go ahead and get this battle uploaded because we both had, I want to say, a few little wacky Pokemon you don't really see too often. I felt like it was a fun battle, and I honestly want to go ahead and give myself some props. I don't want to sound conceited or anything, but like, this was a really difficult team to try to play against, and I felt like I had to play every single move right to even really try to get out there with him, since, you know, most of these Pokemon set up. Definitely, like I said, he definitely had some threats on the team, so I was really proud of myself for this dub. So yeah, anyway, thank you guys for watching the vid. I told you guys I'm knocking out videos left and right, and I was not lying this time. I am getting these videos out, so I appreciate you guys for actually sticking by me and you know, staying even though I was really inconsistent. So yeah, I do appreciate that, guys. If you did like the video, go ahead and drop that like for me. If you're not subbed to me already and you're looking forward to my future battles, go ahead and, you know, sub to your boy. I got battles coming left and right for you, all tiers too, by the way. Currently making like new teams so I can get some more diverse teams going, you know, and upload it. But I feel like I'm talking too much now, so I'm just gonna go ahead and catch you guys in the next video. Thank you guys. Peace out.